Hey, what's up everyone? So we got a brand new season of Sea of Thieves, and that means we have a brand new Plunder Pass to talk about. So I'm going to be reacting to this blind. I have not looked at any of this yet, so I'm going to give you kind of my authentic reaction to it this time. And we have something a little bit different this season because if you notice, it's no longer in the reputation area or where it was before. Now we're going to go to the seasonal tab, which was introduced last season, but it was really only for like the limited time cosmetics that were for each of the different acts of season 17. Now the season tab feels a lot more finished and polished to me. When you open up the seasonal tab, you'll see the seasonal deeds, and it shows this nice looking interface with the different acts shown off, which I think looks really good. They did a really good job with this UI, I think. You can go in here to see kind of what you were used to last season with the different deeds and rewards that you can get for each of the different acts. The first act obviously being the Banished Ancients area here, with the Dark Discovery being the reward for completing the deeds in this section. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. If we go back to this seasonal tab, we can go down to the season pass, and this is where you can see your season pass, and I'll also show you what your current level is and what rewards you have next to unlock before having to go all the way into the menu, which I think is a nice little touch. So if we open this, we see that this season's Plunder Pass is focused on the Nightshade Sentry set. And this first hole I think looks really good. I really like the purple aspect a lot. I feel like purple's not really used too much for ship holes in the game yet. And I mean, there's some, but I feel like this is a really nice use of it. And it's got a little bit nice details. Again, like every pass, unless there's like something animated or something like that, there's not too much interesting to talk about with holes. I feel like they could do a little bit more, but I also think this looks pretty nice and go well with a lot of different cosmetic combinations. At level 5, you'll get your first round of Ancient Coins, and if this follows the past seasons that we've had, you get 750 Ancient Coins from the Plunder Pass, and then you'll get another 250 from the Free Pass, making up for a total of 1,000 Ancient Coins, which will cover your cost for the Plunder Pass. At level 10, we have the Nightshade Sentry Cannon Flare, which I can't really see right now, but if I get to a level where I can progress this enough, I'll show some B-roll of what it looks like, and you guys can let me know if you like it in the comments below. But I do like having a little bit of a purple cannon flare this time. I feel like just purple is just underutilized as a color in Sea of Thieves in general. So it's nice to see that. If we move ahead, at level 13, you'll get the Nightshade Sentry Capstan. And this one I think also looks really good. I really like the little accents of the purple and it looks like gold to me, but it might be like a little bit of a darkish gold. I'll have to take a little bit of a closer look to really tell. But I think that also looks really great. At level 20, we get the Nightshade Sentry Mask. I think this looks like a really cool mask. It's a bit more unique than past Plunder Pass clothing cosmetics that we've gotten. I think this definitely helps add some value to the Plunder Pass, makes it a little bit more unique. Because I feel like, you know, if you've been getting the Plunder Pass every season, you'll probably still get it this season. But what cosmetics are you really utilizing from each of those Plunder Passes? And I feel like this is one that might stand out to actually use often. At level 23, we get the Nightshade Sentry Flag. It's, you know, just a flag. I don't really get too excited about flags, but this one looks really nice. I like the cut pattern that they have for this. I think that adds a little bit of character to it. It's not just a flat flag like we've seen for a lot of the other ones. The design on it is fine. Nothing really else to talk about with this one. Moving on to level 30, we have the Nightshade Sentry Wheel, which I think this one looks really cool. It almost kind of looks like an eye to me with like the purple gem in the middle there. And I think like kind of like the spiking out like daggers around it really works well for this. And the purple and gold just look really good for this set. So I'm really liking this. Might not go well with a lot of other cosmetics, but I think for this set, it looks pretty unique and pretty interesting. Next up at level 40, you have the Nightshade Sentry Jacket. I think this jacket's pretty good. I'm not sure if I'll use it too often, but it does look pretty nice, and it's, you know, pretty slim fitting, it looks like. So that's good if you are worried about having some like baggy type clothes on. Not sure if I'd be using this for tucking and stuff because it is a little bit brighter than you would probably want for a tucking outfit. But if you just don't really care about that, you just want something that looks good, I think this is a pretty solid jacket. At level 50, we have the Nightshade Sentry Cannons. This one is a little bit disappointing to me. Not necessarily saying that it's bad, but it almost looks like some other cans that we've seen. It almost looks like a recoloring of some other ones. I'm not exactly sure which one. It just seems very familiar to me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it still goes well with this set. It just doesn't feel as unique as some of the other cosmetics we've talked about so far. Moving on, at level 60, we have the Nightshade Sentry figurehead. This figure is just fine. I've talked about this in past reviews for the Plunder Pass. I don't like having a separate version of the figurehead and the sails for non-collector's version and collector's version. I just want the best version to be the one in the pass, and then, instead of making a new figurehead and a new sail that no one's going to be using, give us something else. Give us like an emote. Give us a trinket. I don't really care. Just something that I'll actually use. Because the problem is, you can only use one figurehead at a time. Are you going to use the basic version of the figurehead, or are you going to use the more glamorous, that's like the better one? You might sometimes like the regular version, sometimes more. That's happened to me before. But I feel like overall, I'd rather just have one figurehead for the pass and get an additional cosmetic that I can also use. Maybe a new weapon skin. Honestly, I think if you reskin the obsidian weapons to have like this purple and gold theme, that would look really good. And I would love to get like a pistol in the Plunder Pass that went along with this set. I think that would really stand out well. Moving on, at level 70, we have the Nightshade Sentry sails. Very basic to me. Very much looks like an outpost sail to me. Nothing really screams premium sail to me with this one. Definitely could have done a lot better with it. I feel like the design is pretty boring and it's mostly just a purple sail. Not that interesting. But let's move on to our next one at level 80. And this one is a lot more interesting to me. This is the Nightshade Sentry gloves. And I like this one a lot. It reminds me a lot of the Fates of Fortune gloves that we got. I think that's for if you get to grade 2 of the Chest of Fortune commendations. But that one's also like one where it's like a fully gold glove and it has like all these little different metal pieces all together. And that's kind of similar to what we're getting here. I think this looks really good. I think it's pretty unique and goes well with this set. So good job with this one. Next up at level 90, we have the Nightshade Sentry Collector's figurehead. This one looks a bit better. I feel like they could have gone a bit further. This would have maybe been a better one for the regular version of the figurehead, and then I would have been interested to see if they were to go even further with this concept. Not sure how exactly they would go. There's lots of ways you could take this, but it almost reminds me, it kind of looks like a spider to me in some ways. I feel like it could have been cool to see like a more elaborate one. But, this one's okay. I don't really have a problem with this figurehead. I don't think I'll be using it too much outside of the set. I don't think I'll be mixing and matching it that much, but it's still a decent figurehead. And then finally, at level 100, we have the Nightshade Sentry Collector's Sails. This one is a bit disappointing. It's a similar trend that we see with a lot of the collector's versions of sails versus the regular version, and it's really just not that different. The colors pop a bit more with this one. Obviously, this one is better looking than the original one, but it makes me question why even have the original one in the past to begin with if you're just going to have one that's so similar but slightly better. So that's always been my problem with the Plunder Pass. I feel like this Plunder Pass to me is pretty solid. I mean, there's not really bad cosmetics in this, but there's also nothing too interesting. I think the mask is probably the most interesting part of this pass. And I think the clothing items were above average with this pass. They seem to be really good. But the ship set is kind of a little bit lackluster. Nothing's really standing out a ton for me with this Plunder Pass, but it's also not bad in any way. I hope that in future Plunder Passes they try a little bit different things. Maybe not have the collector's version or only have the collector's versions of the sails and figurehead, and then add in a weapon cosmetic or an emote or something else to the pass to make it more valuable and a little bit more fresh. So that covers my thoughts on this season's Plunder Pass. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about the Plunder Pass? Do you think this is a good one? Are you going to get it? Or are you going to pass on this one? Love to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments below. And check out, I'm going to be making another video talking about this season's free pass. So check that one out next. But if you enjoyed this video, it'd be great if you left a like and subscribed. And until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye, y'all.